and we will now continue with our next speaker is Sylvain Levy. He's a collector, and he founded his collection together with his wife Dominique, called DSL Collection already in 2005. And Sylvain asked me, like, before the conference, saying, like, I'm collector, you know, why you wanted me to invite to this conference? Well, I think it's important that we hear different perspectives and also talk to the people like who are actually collecting these digital formats, and also using the digital means for sharing the culture and broadening the audience, and also as a tool for distributing the artworks. So DSL collection is very interesting in this perspective, because they are open for digital formats, and they are particularly interested, or they have actually Chinese art collection, and they write about themselves that collection must think beyond established rules and boundaries. Openness, nomadism, and sharing are fundamental concepts of the DSL collection. The collectors wish to explore new, alternative ways of experiencing contemporary art. Sylvain, floor is yours, and we are looking forward to learn more about your collection and strategies.
Can you hear me? Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me. And as you said, I'll try to perhaps give you another perspective, art and technology, and a perspective of what we've experienced now for 17 years. The previous presentation was absolutely, for me, inspiring. It was because it came from an artist point of view. And now you will have perhaps another point of view from a collector, but a collector who has decided, collectors, because it's with my wife, we have decided to share the collection with the public. So I have a, let's see if it's works.
Collecting is not only an art of living but also an exciting way to take part in the debate of how a human-centric project can navigate the digital age between utopia and dystopia.
This is a little bit what I would like to present today. And through our experiences, I will show you how, when you speak of art and technology, and when you speak of technology and the society, you are always moving between dystopian and utopian, I shall say, challenges. First, in a few words, I would like to present the DSL collection. With my wife, we've been collecting for 37 years, but the DSL collection began in 2005. And for us, it's a kind of cultural entrepreneurial project, which is based on three things. First, it's a family adventure, and I should say all the family is today in this adventure, and especially my daughter, who is now in charge of all the new programs. It's a collection of Chinese contemporary art, only focused on Chinese contemporary art. But what was very important is that we decided in 2005 that we wanted the collection to speak constantly the language of its time. Constantly the language of its time, not only by the works which were collected, but also by the way we wanted to share it, because at this moment, we decided that we wanted the collection to be public. So this is a little bit an overview of the collection. What are, for us, I shall say, the question that we always ask ourselves? The art challenged the technology, and the technology inspires the art. It's very important. It's always art. It's always technology who serves art, and not art who serves technology. This is very, very important in the way we collect, in the way we share. It's always art first, human first, and technology after. How the technology inspires the art. And I've taken you some example of artwork that we have collected in the collection. For instance, in 2005, we've collected video game artwork by Frank Mangbo. We've collected Schule Sheng, also, which was an internet installation, which was presented in Paris, at Palais Tokyo. Naturally, RMB City, which is a kind of utopian city presented by Chao Fei. We collected also an artist called Lu Yang, which has installed, I should say, infused in her artworks avatars. And we've collected, finally, a crypto with Zhang Liu, Crypto SR, last 2 years ago. So you can see that technology and art has always been part of the way of the artworks that we've collected. Now, the other question is how art challenges the technology, and especially how we want to use the technology to, I should say, make the art world pushing the boundaries of, I should say, reaching people, raising questions, and perhaps also making the world in which we are more human. As I said to you, we wanted this collection to speak the language of its time. So since 2005, we've really surfed on the digital twin, on the digital wave. 2011, we were the first one to have an iPad. But just I noticed in 2012, we also had a museum and Second Life. Let's forget it on this slide. 2015, we had a VR museum. 2021, we went into video games, and 2021 also went into the metaverse. So you can see that for us, we haven't discovered the technology or the digital world after the COVID, but we have really experienced through different types of technology how art and technology can be used to share the collection. Virtual reality. I will begin with virtual reality because virtual reality was for me a game changer. Because till today, you're looking at a screen, a video screen, a cinema screen, your iPhone. With virtual reality, you are immersed in the space. So already it changed a lot how it will impact, I shall say, the relation between an artwork and the viewer.
A virtual museum complements and enhances the museum experience through personalization, interactivity, and richness of content.
This is a very interesting definition of what is the difference between a virtual museum and a normal museum. And I think that what is interesting is the idea of enhancing the museum experience and bringing personalization, interactivity, and a new types of content. So when you go into virtual reality or when you go into digital, you not just mirror the offline, online, you have to create a new type of experience. And what is interesting is that in the future, one of the solutions will be portable and personal museums. I will present you some images of our virtual museum. Why we have created a virtual museum? Because many of our works are very big installations that we cannot show in a real, I should say, real space or real time. So we have created this virtual museum, and you will see that in this presentation, in some of the images, we have put inside some of our installation, which some are 40 meter high, like you will see the golden stairs, but also we have a lot of installations which are at least 6 meter high, or even paintings 15 meter long. With this virtual reality experiences, because we've done a certain number of, shall say, projects based on virtual reality, one of the goals was to try to reach missing audience, especially the young people. By bringing virtual reality, you bring gamification, and you can, I shall say, attract young people because it's like a video game. But the other audience that we were looking and really trying to reach was the old people who have not the capability, the capacity to go to museum or to travel, people who are in retirement houses. Tomorrow, with a mask, they will be capable to see an exhibition in New York, Shanghai, or in Hong Kong. And so this is a huge human utopia dream that we would like to achieve by bringing to this type of population these new type of tools. What was very interesting when the COVID arrived, we noticed that a lot of people went online, and most of the experiences were very bad because it was just a mirror of the offline online. So we decided to try to understand who are the people who mastered the best the screen. And naturally, we looked at the video game. The video game is in the world. The video gamers are more than 2 billion people. I shall say a community of 2 billion people. And what is interesting is that this community has also an economic model which is function, which is not the case for the museum, because at this moment, there is no museum in the world which covers it overhead. And so we went into video game to learn more about gaming, gamification. And what was very interesting is that we learned naturally about bringing joy, which is very important in an art experience, escapism and entertainment. And we have created one of the first, I think, the first video game where you can have the balance between, I shall say, a video game and, I shall say, the metrics of success of a video game and the metrics of success of an art experience. It was a video game created by a Hong Kong team, Alan Kwan and Alison Young, and it was a huge success. This video game has received many, many prizes, and especially it was nominated the best serious game by Tencent for indie games 2 years ago. And so we noticed that we can bring into the video games, we can bring something new, which is art. But also we understood how with video game, we can more gamificate, we can more give a gamification aspect to all our experiences. The metaverse. We came naturally to the metaverse. Why? Because if you look at how we moved from 2010, we moved from Second Life, virtual reality, video games, and social networks. If you add all these types of experience, you are capable to, I shall say, to produce a metaverse experience, because a metaverse experience is a mixture of all that. But the metaverse for us is a landmark. The concept of the metaverse is a landmark in how the human being is going to, I shall say, to experience its life. What is the metaverse? Virtual reality was about living in a space, experiencing something in a space. The metaverse will be being yourself in this space, yourself with your avatar. You will live in this space. You will live in this space, you will consume in this space, we will connect with people in this space. So you will be yourself, different. This is a huge, huge difference, that you will be with another personality. And not just one personality, many personalities. And that's bring on the table a lot of utopian and dystopian challenges. And let me present you some of the projects that we are having on the metaverse at this moment. What is interesting, and let me go back to the metaverse, is not just about yourself being in the space called the metaverse, but it's also about having interconnected experiences where you can go with your avatar and your friends with their avatar in different types of experiences. So we have created different types of experiences, I shall say, to begin this, I shall say, test and learn on the notion of the metaverse. The first one is with NYU. With NYU T-Shirt School, we have recreated the Washington Square Garden. And in this garden, we have already had exhibitions, we had already performances, artists making performances with the avatars, and we will have many other events inside. So this is something also very important, is that the metaverse should not be just an experience, but should be an experience which is constantly used in, I shall say, in a normal way we use our real life. The other one is with Shenzhen. Shenzhen, it was very interesting. We created a space with the Shenzhen Pingshan Fine Art Museum. By the way, I'm on the board of this museum. And what was very interesting is that we created a space where we took 7 works of the collection. And you would enter in a space, you can see the work, the original work of the collection. You can experience the original work of the collection. And then after, you can go in another room and you can see an enhanced version of the work. If I can make you a parallel, it's like in music, you can go, the authentic way to listen to music is to go to a concert, a live concert. The digital way is to go to Spotify, but people today discover music with video clips on YouTube. I think it's very important also now, if we want to disseminate art, is also to create new types of experiences that can speak the language of its time. Let me show you some videos, a few images of this presentation. Since time is running, I have to go a little bit quicker. Our new project is very, very, very ambitious. We are creating now an Ukrainian pavilion on the metaverse. And in this Ukrainian pavilion, there will be art, music, fashion design, important museums, Ukrainian museums on this metaverse. It's a very ambitious program, but just to give you one number, we had a call for artists for this platform. We had 250 artists who has, I shall say, submitted their artworks. And today we are partner with also, for instance, the Ukrainian Fashion Week and many, many fashion designers. And this is very important because it's not just about giving accessibility to artworks, to artists, but it's also about preservation. And so this Ukrainian museum will be a very complete project on the metaverse, and naturally it will be linked with the other projects that already we have. Coming back to dreams and dystopia, I shall say that there is 2 ways to look at the metaverse. The dystopian way is is, I should say, the meta way to look at it. It means it's a corporate way to look at the metaverse. And the other way is to build on the metaverse your own world. It's perhaps utopian, perhaps it makes you, it remember you what happened in the internet, in the beginning of the internet. But at least at this moment, what we want to create with DSL are spaces of freedom and happiness. The other, I shall say, dream that we have, we want to recreate the idea of cyber flannery. We want people to rediscover that internet is about also escapism, is about taking your time to enjoy. And perhaps this is a kind of desired reality, but what we want is really to bring experiences where people will feel the desire to spend their time with their friends. As for virtual artists, I should say the question is augmentation versus replacement. It's not only about virtual artists, it's also about influencer. And it's interesting to see what will be the future of the influencers. The only thing that I can tell you, which is very, I should say, a landmark also, there's a company called In-World Artificial Intelligence. They just raised $50 million to bring emotion into avatars. So you see that avatars now, we are moving to something a little bit different than just avatars. And this is a kind of, I should say, a slide where it shows you a little bit how we have moved from idol brand to influencers and now to virtual artists. And when we speak of virtual artists, today we are supporting a project with a virtual artist, and let me present her project.
Her artwork is focused on how who we choose to express ourselves as in reality and now digitally are not masks of each other, but blend and become complexly layered, with emotions re-expressed and reinterpreted through the one universal language that will withstand the test of time and technology.
So you see, we are pushing the boundaries also with a kind of double personality, an artist and his avatar, and how the two will move into the art world. But the biggest challenge remains virtual empathy. The biggest challenge for the artist, how you can bring empathy with using NFT. And the biggest challenge is with all these new ways of sharing images, sharing experiences, how we can bring empathy. What are my closing thoughts? I think that what we have seen, that today everybody has a digital twin. We are writing the new era of the human being. And especially the young generation, they will move very easily from their avatar to their real person. The real question will be, are we going to look at it, at this, the human being as only user, consumer, or having a human centric? And this is very, very important for us. If we want the world not to be like 1984 2.0, we have always to center all our, I should say, our thoughts and our strengths and our energy in this idea of human-centric, and art is the best way to do it. I would like to finish by a personal touch. You know, we've left the idea of a collection which is only fetishizing artwork. And we went into this journey. And I can tell you, this journey can really make ordinary person have an extraordinary life. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvain, for telling us about the DSL collection projects and also the ideas and the concept behind. I allow myself one short question here. Practically speaking, like what does it mean to have digital or virtual museum? Because you are a collection, and if we look even at big institutions, they are really struggling to have virtual museum platforms, and it's difficult to maintain them and so on. So can you tell us, like, what does it mean to create a virtual museum and to maintain it and to also curate exhibitions there?
I think that what we have decided in the beginning was to be a phygital collection. Naturally, all the works that are digital are physical. And also we loan a lot of works to museums. We made exhibitions with the collection, but we decided, because when we began the collection in 2005, it was the beginning of YouTube. And we decided that it could be interesting also to speak the language of its time by, I shall say, looking at what will happen and what was happening in the digital world. And so when we decided to, I shall say, to navigate, to surf on the digital wave, it brought us from a website to the metaverse. And I think this is very important today. And it brings to what is very fundamental for me. Fundamental for me is the center of all the projects is who is the audience, how you can make yourself relevant for the audience. And it makes that you establish new types of metrics of success, for instance. The metrics of success are no more about numbers, the biggest museum, the biggest collection, the most expensive collection. The new metrics of success for us is about being influential, being singular, being accessible, being empathic. So when you move from the traditional definition of a museum to this kind of definition, it's no more about objects. It's about, I shall say, pushing the mindset of the people in new directions.
Sorry, I was muted. Talking about the audience, how much audience do you receive in this virtual museum of your collection?
It's a good question. First, the audience is when we go physically and we show the museum. I can tell you, whenever we went physically with the headset, people were queuing. Naturally, today, the virtual museum with headset is limited in terms of accessibility because not many people have headsets. And it's the same thing with the metaverse. We are in the infancy of, I shall say, a new way to connect with life. But with innovation, you have two ways to react. Either you say, okay, and wait and see. Either you say, I test and learn. And I think that's what is very important, is to test and learn. And having had this experience since 2005, I think we have tested and learned a lot of things that would be very, very useful when it will become mainstream virtual reality and the metaverse.
Yeah, thank you.